What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV, bringing you the best of Call of Duty Black Ops 3 content Monday to Friday, or in cases such as this where we're running just a little bit late, Saturday as well. Today we have a new CoD Challenge video for you. CoD Challenged is a brand new series on BlackTideTV where we're taking a look at some of the hardest challenges in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and providing methods on how to complete them the easiest and fastest. So today we're looking at the Specialist Killjoy's Challenge Short Circuit. We've actually already covered a Specialist Killjoy's Challenge. That will be the Wet Blanket Challenge. I'll link that video in the description and in the card in the top right corner if you're interested. Without further ado, let's take a look at this Short Circuit Challenge. So the Short Circuit Challenge is a Specialist Killjoy's Challenge, and it's going to require you to interrupt enemy specialist abilities with your EMP grenades 10 times. Now I have a method here for that I'm going to share with you. I've also got a class build, a couple game modes. I'm going to share with you the specialists that you'll actually want to keep an eye out for, and the specialists that you can actually effect with your EMP grenades in this game. I've also got a couple other challenges that we're not going to be talking about specifically in this series, but challenges that you'll be able to do at the same time as this challenge. So first things first, what kind of specialists should you be looking out for? These are the specialists that you can actually effect with your EMP in this game. So you've got Overdrive, Vision Pulse, Kinetic Armor, Combat Focus, Psychosis, and Active Camo. Rejack, kind of tentatively, I don't know about Rejack. I've never actually tried it against Rejack. If you guys have tried using EMPs against Rejack and it's actually a success, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Now, these are the only specialist abilities that you can actually use your EMP grenades against. Glitch, you cannot use an EMP grenade against. Heat Wave, you cannot use an EMP grenade against. So obviously some of these abilities are just instantly, like, they use their ability and it instantly happens. You obviously cannot EMP these enemies. You have to use the EMPs against sustained abilities such as Overdrive, Vision Pulse, etc. Now, some of these challenges or some of these specialists are easy to spot. Others are impossible to spot. Combat Focus, you have no idea that an enemy is using Combat Focus, so you just kind of got to use this method that I'm about to share with you, and keep in mind that these specialists that I just named are the ones that you're really wanting to keep an eye out for, and maybe keep an EMP grenade in reserve just in case you end up coming eye to eye with an active camo user or a kinetic armor user. So what is my method? My method is basically balls to the wall, rushing and chucking EMP grenades everywhere. Just everywhere. And I have a foolproof class for this challenge that's just going to maximize your EMP grenade efforts. Basically, the whole idea of this challenge, the whole difficulty of this challenge is that it takes a very long time, in that you have to find these certain specialists at certain points, and you got to be able to hit these specialists with your EMPs, and it seems super easy. It's just the length of the actual challenge that's going to be the problem. Like, it's going to take you a long time to find 10 specialists and EMP them all. So just doing it this way, it's going to kind of take the stress out of doing this challenge. You're not going to be totally focused on hitting every kind of specialist as you can with your EMPs. You can just kind of chuck them, fire and forget, and then just keep playing whatever game mode you're playing. So the class that you're going to want to use is, obviously you're going to want to equip EMP grenades. I hope I didn't actually have to say that. Just equip EMP grenades. It's pretty straightforward. I actually decided to use 2. Like I said before, you're going to want to use 1 for my method and keep the second one in reserve just in case you see an enemy specialist that you know that you need to get. So you're going to want to use EMPs, Scavengers, so you can resupply those EMPs so that you can just keep going maximum EMP throwage while you're playing. Gung Ho is actually a really great perk as well. It's going to allow you to throw your EMPs without having to stop, and that's just going to be great because you can just keep going, balls to the wall, throw your EMP, then take out your SMG or whatever and spray down your enemies, pick up the scavenger bag, and then chuck another EMP and keep going. Engineer is also going to be a great oddball perk because you'll be able to find enemy equipment such as trip mines and shock charges, and when you find those things, there's generally enemies camping near those things, and those enemies that camp near those things use things like Vision Pulse or active camo or kinetic armor, so you'll likely get an EMP hit on enemies that are near their equipment. Now, what you're going to want to do is just keep running around the map, keep chucking those EMPs, and you're going to want to choose a couple select game modes to do this in. So free-for-all is a great game mode. That's what you're seeing today. I'm just running around because there's enemies just spawning everywhere. They spawn behind you, they spawn next to you. There's always going to be an enemy around the next corner. You don't need to worry about where the enemies are going to be. You just chuck the EMP around the corner and then run around, shoot the guy that you got a hit marker against with your EMP, pick up the scavenger bag and throw it again. That's also an added benefit of using EMP grenades, is that you always know where the enemies are. You chuck an EMP grenade around the corner, you'll find that enemy because you'll get a hit marker on the enemy that just ran around the corner. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Hardpoint and Safeguard are also great game modes for this because you'll know that the enemy team is in a central location. Whereas in Domination, they could be on B-Dom, they could be on their home kind of domination point, but they're not necessarily at one of those points. Whereas with Hardpoint and Safeguard, you'll be like, yes, there is a person at that hardpoint because it says that there are enemies in that hardpoint. Plus, hardpoint spots are kind of based in certain rooms around the map, so you can use hardpoint locations and chuck your EMPs into them. Safeguard as well, you'll actually be helping to destroy the robot when you throw your EMPs towards the robot, so that can be very, very effective also. So you're going to want to play these game modes. You're going to want to chuck your EMPs at as many enemies as you possibly can. Just whip them everywhere. You're going to throw your first EMP out right away. Well, not right away, I should say. You're going to want to wait until you know that enemies are using their specialist abilities. But once you get so far into the game, once you earn a specialist ability of your own, you'll know that enemies are earning their specialist abilities as well. Throw your first EMP grenade out, and then just kind of rocket, kind of run around the map a little bit, and then wait for a second enemy to show up. Wait for an enemy that has active camo or kinetic armor or something like this that's very noticeable. Wait until they approach you and then throw an EMP grenade at them. But as far as the first EMP grenade goes, just chuck it around corners, chuck it into hard points, and make sure you resupply them with that scavenger perk. Just absolute EMP, just fallout. You just throw the EMPs everywhere. Do not stop. This is the only method to completing this challenge in any short amount of time. You're gonna have a rough time if you're just gonna try and just wait for the enemies with the kinetic armor equipped. You're gonna have a hard time if you sit there and wait for enemies to actually use things and then try and run over to them and EMP them in time. It's gonna be a long haul. So with this method, you can just buckle down, you can whip out your EMPs and just kind of chuck them everywhere, and you'll be actually completing this challenge very, very quickly. I was taking a long time to complete this challenge. I maybe got to like 2 out of 10 in quite a span of time. And then when I finally sat down and I built a class around it and I tried really hard to actually get this, and I was chucking my EMP grenades everywhere, I finally ended up getting all of my last 8 very, very quickly just by using these methods, playing on smaller maps, playing free-for-all and hardpoint games like this, and whipping my EMP grenades into high traffic areas, into enemies that I know are using certain abilities. Now, a couple challenges that you might want to consider doing at the same time as this is the EMP grenade challenge, where you just have to destroy enemy equipment, so the engineer is going to actually come in handy there. The engineer challenge, where you destroy enemy equipment when you're using the engineer perk. Obviously, you're going to be throwing your EMPs towards those areas that have trip mines and shock charges and stuff. Gung-ho, you're going to be running around with a gun. You might as well just be running and spraying and praying with that gun after you throw that EMP out. And finally, Soul Crusher, which is, I believe, you have to destroy enemy equipment with your EMPs while you have engineer equipped. So that's just like the EMP challenge and the engineer challenge put together. You can use that challenge as well while you're going for this short circuit challenge. So it's not that hard of a challenge. It's just the method that you really have to nail down. You really have to just keep trying. You'll play 10 plus games and you will not get a single EMP on a single enemy. It's very, very hard. It's very long and tedious. But at some point, you'll just start hitting EMPs on enemies and it'll just go up and up and up, and you'll finally finish this challenge. I'm glad that it's only 10 10 enemies. If this was anything like 25, 50, 100, oh my god, this would be the hardest challenge in the game. But it's basically just trial and error. Just keep chucking those EMPs and you'll get to it eventually. That's about it for this video, guys. It went a little longer than intended. I'll probably have to go and obviously I'll have to go and get another gameplay. Well, obviously you'll be watching the gameplay that I will have had to have gone and got for this video. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. Hit that like button if you did. Comment down below if you've actually used an EMP grenade against the rejack character and if it worked or not. I don't know about that rejack. It might actually be a really good method just to hit rejacking enemies with your EMP grenade. That would be really, really cool if that worked. I'm not sure if it does though, so let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. This is the second CoD Challenge video, so make sure you head into that description or into that card in the top right corner and find the first CoD Challenge video on Wet Blanket. I am sponsored by No Scope Gaming Glasses, so it is my obligation to ask you guys to check out the link in the description to No Scope Gaming and check out some awesome gaming glasses that will help to reduce your eye strain and actually allow you to play video games for longer without your eyes starting to hurt. That's all I have in today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on Monday.
Our robot has been rebooted. Robot is approaching their base. Nice work, Black Ops. Get ready for the next round.